Yes, so 8 years since I started performing with the 40 Towers. Can I remember my first show? Yes, I can. It was Heathrow Airport in the UK, or it was a hotel next to Heathrow Airport. I remember being very nervous. It actually went quite well, but it was quite an experience. The physicality is very difficult. Some of the things like the goose-step is really hard to sort of master. You need a lot of flexibility in your legs, and I'm not that flexible in my legs naturally. Also, I think just getting used to talking to people as Basil and dealing with the unexpected questions or the unpredictability of performance, that took some getting used to. But it was all good fun learning for sure. So yeah, so Sybil and Manuel obviously are very different. So how do I deal with each of those? It's difficult, yeah. Well, it's not difficult. It's very different. I mean, obviously, Manuel, the experience I have with Manuel is much more sort of a physical bullying kind of thing. So obviously you have to work a lot with the actor. So we work very well choreographing a lot of the physical sort of side of things. Mentally as well, it is about sort of just the status thing. So dealing with being of a higher status than Manuel, and being the boss of him. So dealing with that is sort of it sort of takes quite a lot to get used to, because obviously we all get on very well as sort of friends, the cast members. So to sort of like treat this sort of person you get on one of your friends with the contempt that Basil treats Manuel with can be quite a challenge sometimes, when you hit his head against the wall. With Sybil, yeah, of course, that's more of a relationship of marriage, and the common misconception is that Basil and Sybil hate each other, and of course they don't. They do love each other very much. It just gets a lot of it's frustration. So sort of dealing with that, and also the status thing again. He's quite scared of Sybil. So so again you can see the sort of status thing with that. So so approaching that, it's about kind of you have you're in sort of fear of this person, but you also sort of love this person. So it's finding that balance really in that relationship. Well, it's very kind of people appreciate my performance. That's lovely. It's always lovely to hear. I think how do I approach it? Well, I mean, to start with, it's all about just watching Basil 40, what he does in the episodes, and and continue watching. I've always done that. I've always continually watched and try to find new things in sort of dealing with that as well. I mean, because there's only so many shows, I've also sort of watched a lot of John Cleese as well, so what he's done, because a lot of his own character is in Basil. So so even watching other films that John Cleese has been, like things like Clockwise or Fish Called Wanda, has really helped as well, and really helped just to really get into that character, I guess, and sort of work out, especially when dealt with things that Basil hasn't dealt with in the series, and in the modern world or what have you, that I can still sort of be ready to sort of deal with those. So that's the way I kind of approach that. Well, in many ways they're very similar, and obviously each audience is different. In Australia, people are a little bit less scared of Basil. I think in the UK there's that we kind of have this sort of, I don't know, almost respect or fear for people in authority, and although Basil isn't really an authority, there is that kind of almost schoolmasterly kind of vibe about him, which I think sometimes people find. And I think in Australia there's less sort of fear of that, you know, you have less of that sort of class system almost, I guess, in that respect. So people are a bit more cheeky in Australia, I think. Australian audiences are very good at listening, not that the UK aren't, but they're just really very good. Once you sort of start the show, they're really onto what's going on. But on the whole, I mean, they're not totally dissimilar, to be honest. Yes, we've toured around the world loads. I've got so many actually. I've had an amazing 8 years, it's been brilliant. Obviously some of the places we've performed have been fantastic. The Opera House, for example, brilliant. I still love going back. I'm going back for the 4th or 5th time, I think, in a couple of months, which I'm really looking forward to. The Royal Albert Hall as well, that was a major place to do the show, and you know, very proud of doing the show there. Yeah, the festivals, just think of all the festivals, you know, doing Adelaide for the 3rd time, which I'm really looking forward to massively. Doing Melbourne comedy as well, which is always brilliant, as well as having done Edinburgh in the past. And some of the locations have just been really lucky, you know. I've been to some amazing places like, you know, Barbados and, you know, Thailand and you know, the Philippines. So, you know, been all around the world. And yeah, so we've been really lucky. You know, I've been to some hilarious places. I remember Iceland just being a brilliant place to do the show as well. That really sticks out. So lots of brilliant memories, for sure. So how do I keep the character fresh after all those years of touring? Well, it's quite easy really in some respects, because every show is different. I know in theatre that is the case anyway, but even more so when you're doing interactive theatre. So you've got the unexpected, so you can never sort of rest too much on your laurels. You know, you've always got to be kept on your toes, and you know, mentally that keeps you quite sharp. Also, you know, not just the spaces, but you know, the audience as well. Always different, and the space we use is always different, so you've got, you know, different things we can use, and you know, find different humour in and finding the funny in the space. We've got also, you know, working with different actors. Everyone brings something different, so that keeps things very fresh. And also just keep watching, always just keep watching, because you always find something different. What am I most looking forward to in Adelaide? Well, I always love coming back to Adelaide, and especially during the festival time, because the Fringe is just amazing, it takes over the whole city, and it's such an exciting place to be. So I'm really looking forward to doing that. Looking forward to catching up with a few people I know there as well, and a few performers, you know, so I'm always looking forward to that, and just soaking up the vibe, I think.